My colleague from Hawaii said it perfectly yesterday. Here's the quote. There is enough money to bail out Argentina with $40 billion. By the way, for people that don't know what that means, to all the ranchers, cattle ranchers in America, President Donald Trump said he's going to go bail out Argentina by $40 billion of their beef. And what is that going to do to American cattle producers? So anyhow, back to the quote. There's enough money to bail out Argentina with $40 billion. There's enough money to buy Kristi Noem, who's the Secretary of Homeland Security, a $173 million personal jet just to fly a little more comfortably. There's enough money to renovate that ballroom, $250 million, but there isn't enough money for you, the American people. It seems to me the priorities are clear. So will the senator yield for a question?
Yes, I'm yielding for your question.
Senator Merkley, how are Americans supposed to trust an administration that seems so focused on giving things to themselves when Americans are worried they won't be able to afford basic necessities like food and health insurance? I yield to the senator.
Yeah, thank you so much for your question. And you've laid out so many points here about kind of the mismanagement of America's funds. And we could add a few more to them. The craziness of spending more money than it costs to buy a presidential jet to rehab a jet that was given to the president so that he could actually send it on to his personal library after he leaves office. But it is profoundly disturbing, and I appreciate the way you framed it. There's enough money for luxury glitz, for a mega ballroom. I can't even imagine how anything could cost that much to build. I mean, it's going to have an 1/8 inch of gold on every surface or something. I don't know. But that doesn't serve the American people. That doesn't make one single person in America have better health care or better education or a decent home in a decent community or a better job. Doesn't give equality of opportunity. Doesn't tackle any of our environmental issues. It is simply a gross display by a president who has constructed his entire administration on the basis of a theory to govern, which is families lose and billionaires win. Families lose their health care, so there can be massive tax breaks for billionaires. They lose their Medicaid on top of their ACA health care in order to fund massive tax breaks for billionaires. They lose their nutrition assistance to fund tax breaks for billionaires. And then over the next 30 years, their bill runs up $30 trillion in additional debt to fund these breaks for billionaires. Maybe I should say trillionaires now. And you think about how that debt, that additional $30 trillion in debt, how much that will compromise the ability to have future programs of health care and housing and education. I mean, the folks in my state are looking at the same thing as the folks of your state. We had last Wednesday the information come out a week ago so people could look on the exchange and see what their policies were going to cost. And we don't have a new comprehensive analysis. The pre-analysis, the projection, was that the average cost would go up not 5% or 10% or 15%, but about 68%. And that's because the premium goes up, the tax credits come down, and you're massively more expensive. Now, maybe a lot more because the average across the country is that premiums payments will go up 114%, more than double. But how do you explain to anyone that you slashed their health care affordability to fund a giveaway of $20 to $40 billion to Argentina, or to fund that new ballroom. I mean, that's insane. I mean, that is, well, just like the rich rubbing our nose in it for ordinary Americans, that you won't be able to afford health care, but wow, we got that new jet, the jet you talked about for Nome. I hadn't heard about that one. We got the new ballroom. We got the tax breaks for the richest people. This government buying for the billionaires, and it ties in to the authoritarian perspective. Because if you're a regular leader of a democracy, you feel you're accountable to the people. And you would never, ever pursue a bill that defunds health care for ordinary families to put more dollars in the pocket of the already richest Americans. But if you're an authoritarian, and the entire time I've been on the floor has been to ring the alarm bells. Ring the alarm bells. Authoritarianism is here now. And I'm told that each time I say this, lots of bells are posted online. So just for my team's fun, ring the alarm bells. I want that to be heard all across America, that we are way off track. This is the wrong way to go. In a democracy, you want to have the foundations for families to thrive because you're accountable to the people, and the people run the operation. But in an authoritarian government, boy, that's not the case at all.